All right, so let us go down to problem number 1. Problem number 1. Okay, I'm going to skip the top because we've done that before. You should have that. Mariana, JL, let's put the phones away, please. All right, so number 1. This is using the quadratic formula. So, how do we solve these quadratics? Something that is raised to the second power. If we have a graph, we might be able to actually find the roots and then figure it out from that. If we can factor, we can use the greatest common factor. We can use difference of two squares. We can use X box. We might be able to factor. But if we cannot use either of those, that's when the quadratic formula comes in. Okay? Now, it looks nice, big, and nasty, but we already know kind of how to find the discriminant, and you're just plugging numbers in. It's not that bad. Okay? So, first of all, hints. It says make sure the equation is equal to 0. So we have to make sure it is equal to 0. Okay? So over here, I'm going to say, and the directions here say, yes, we are in fact using quadratic formula. So I'm not even going to check for factoring here. Okay? All right. So first of all, is it set equal to 0? Yes or no? Jeremiah, head up, please. Come on. Yes, it is set equal to 0. So now I can find my A, B, C values. All right. So, Cadence, what is my A value for number 1? It is not 5. I'm sorry? It's in front of the x squared. So that means it is going to be 1. 1 understood. So A, B, and C. A is front of the x squared. B is front of the x. C is the last. Very good. Yes. You want to try for C? Except that it is? Yes, because we got to look at the sign. Excellent. So A, B, and C. Now, what I would suggest doing next, Jeremiah, head up please, is to look for the discriminant. B squared minus 4AC. We are not going to give you that formula because we are going to give you, where is the formula? We are going to give you the whole formula. You have to know the discriminant is what is under the radical sign. Just the b squared minus 4ac. Is everybody with me? Anno, are you with me? Put the phone away. You're looking at something. So we are just doing the discriminant first. All right? So b squared. B is negative 5. Let's square that, meaning taking it to the second power, minus 4 times my a value of 1 times my c value of negative 36. Now, I have told you, I want you to think of this as box answer minus box answer. You are going to be subtracting for every discriminant. So negative 25 squared is what amount? Should be 25. It's always positive. Minus 4 times 1 is 4, and 4 times negative 36 is going to be a negative amount, and it's going to be negative 144. You cannot subtract a negative. You add the opposite. So this becomes adding the opposite. So now my discriminant is 169. That is a positive discriminant. When you have a positive discriminant, how many real roots do you have? Do you remember? It's either 2, 1, or 0. The answer is positive. You have 2. So you're going to have 2 real roots. Okay? So now we're going to write the quadratic formula. X equals opposite of b plus or minus the square root of, now since I've already found the discriminant, I'm going to put that 169 inside and under because we already solved that part. And that's going to make it a whole lot simpler. All divided by 2a. So I need the opposite of b. B is negative 5. The opposite of that is going to be positive 5. Plus or minus the square root. What is the square root of 169? Those of you with calculators, take your calculator. 13. That means 169 is a perfect square. So this is plus or minus 13 all divided by 2 times my a value of 1, which is 1. And 2 times 1 is 2. So x is equal to 5 plus 13 divided by 2, and x is equal to 5 minus 13 divided by 2. Well, 5 plus 13 is 18. 18 divided by 2 means x is equal to 9. That's my first value. And 5 minus 13, that's negative 8. Negative 8 divided by 2 means x is equal to negative 4. We said we were going to have 2 real roots, and indeed we do. So that formula looks much worse than it actually is, okay? And let me tell you something else. You can use the quadratic formula anytime. Anytime you have a quadratic equation. You don't have to factor, okay? You don't have to look at the graph if you have the equation. You could use this formula and it would give you the answer, all right? Questions on that? Okay, let us go to the back side now. Was everybody done copying that or not quite? Everybody done copying that? Okay. So make sure you set it equal to 0. Find your A, B, C value. Find the discriminant. Substitute that in and try to solve. Question. You sure? Anybody else need more time to copy? All right, let us go to the back side. I want to do 45 because it's got a decimal and it's not set equal to 0. Okay? So, very first thing, when it tells you to use the quadratic formula, you have to set it equal to 0. That is not set equal to 0. So, how would I make that equal to 0? Negative 3x squared. Well, not subtract, but we would add it because it's already negative, right? So I want to add 3x squared, which means I want to add 3x squared to the other side. Over here on the left, these are going to cancel out, and that's going to be equal to 0. I'm on the back side, problem 45. Flip it on the back side. Can you hear me? You okay? Okay. So, where am I going to put that 3x squared? Should that be in the front of that equation, the middle, or the back part? Yeah, the front. That's your x squared. So, 3x squared plus 4.25x plus 3 equals 0. Mine are kind of scrunched up. So now I have it set equal to 0. I have it in the correct order form. Can you put that down, please? So what is my A value, Amir? What is it? No. So it comes in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So what's my A value if I said ax squared? 3. Not the x, just the 3, just the number. What is my B value, Antonio? Not negative. Yep, 4.25. And my C value, Jordan? Nope. Right here. So we're at A, B, and C. So it's another 3. Okay? Does everybody see how I found A, B, and C there? Do you need homework packet? Okay. Can you take yours out? Can you find it? All right. So next, I want to look for the discriminant. Discriminant is the part under the radical. So that is b squared minus 4ac. B is 4.25. So I am going to square that. Minus 4 times my A value of 3 times my C value of 3. Now remember, I want you to look at this as that box, that answer that you get squared, minus all of these other ones. Okay? What is 4.25 squared? Anybody? Ooh. Yes, 18.0625. So 18.0625. Try to hang on to all this extra junk, all extra numbers until you get to the very end. You only want to round at the very end. Okay? Jeremiah, do you have a pencil? Please take it out. Let's go. Amir, head up. I'm not doing this for me. Okay? Pencil, there's some in the back over there. You get it? Feeling okay? All right. So 18.0625 minus 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 3 is 36. So 18.0625 minus 36 gives me negative 17.9375. My discriminant is a negative number. How many roots am I going to have if my discriminant has a negative number? 0. Yes. 0 real roots. No real roots. Okay, this is your discriminant. And when it is negative, that means no real roots. All right, so now I use that big formula, the quadratic formula. So I write it first, x equals, and we will give you the whole formula. Opposite of b plus or minus the square root. You found the discriminant. So instead of putting b squared minus 4ac, let's substitute this in. Negative 17.9375 divided by 2a. So now let's put the rest of it in. X equals the opposite of b. B is 4.25, so this is going to be negative 4.25 plus or minus. Now, we have the square root of a negative number. This was part of homework number 3, if you have done that. Instead of leaving it as a negative number, I'm going to make it the square root of the positive 17.9375 times I, because I is negative 1. So that I is going to be on the outside of that square root. Okay, DeShayla, you with me? DeShayla? Hey, come on. Write some of this down. You have a test on Friday. Divided by 2 times my A value of 3. All right. We cannot add a number plus this, which is an imaginary number. Okay? But we can take the square root of it still. So I'm going to say x equals negative 4.25. This amount is 6, right? Now, you can either add them together, which we can't do, or you put them both individually over that denominator. So negative 4.25 over 6 plus or minus, now I'm going to take the square root of that weird number, 17.9375, and that gives me 4.2352 plus some change. Let's do that again. 4.2352, and that times I is also going to go over 6. Okay? So, if I do negative 4.25 over 6, I'm calculating all of this right here. So that is negative 4.25 divided by 6 gives me negative 0.708. X is equal to negative 0.708 plus a bunch of 3's. Plus or minus, now I'm going to take that 4.2352 and divide it by 6. Divided by 6 is 0.705. 0.705, that's this amount, times I. You cannot add together this plus this because this is an I, imaginary number, this is a real number. So your final answer is x equals negative, and they tell us to round it to the nearest tenth. So the nearest tenth here would be negative 0.77 plus or minus the tenths place here. Look next door. That's a 0. That is 0.7i. And that is all you can do because you cannot add these together. Now, that one is a lot more difficult. I would not anticipate having one quite that difficult on the test. Okay? But again, you make sure it's set equal to 0. You find the discriminant. Once you find the discriminant, substitute the discriminant in for that quadratic formula and simplify. Okay? 44, right? So we have a minute, so we will stop there. You will go to lunch, and then when we come back, I'll see if you want to do any more, and we'll probably do some SAT calculator practice since many of you did not do that on Friday. Okay?